Welcome to Bonsai Druid. I'm Suzy. Today I have 4 small bonsai trees that need a little bit of pruning. They're all doing really well. This one right here is a South African fig. It was originally a aerial root on another tree, so it kind of has a bit of a knob under here that we're going to explore, and probably take this leader off and look at the rest of it. Not much to do on it, really. But I have to take some off of this Portulacaria afra. I like the trunk straight, but what are you going to do? I'm just trying to develop a new canopy to it and decide whether or not to keep this little guy right here. This is another Portulacaria afra that was cut off that other one. Made a huge long branch that I think I'm basically gonna trim this back somewhere down here and take the rest of these and just do, it's like start cuttings of them. The whole rest of the top of this probably. And then this little wildling elm. Probably start with this one actually, since it's here. You can see the root of it. It was originally thicker. There's a bigger trunk here. This branch survived, this one didn't, many years ago. I left this one root here just to feed it and strengthen it. You can see there's kind of a gap under here of roots that I might need to bury this a little deeper. I think the soil gets washed away. And then we come around this back side. Let's see where the trunk is at right there. It's got a nice little trunk to it. It's got some nice taper, even though it's from this big scar. Big piece of biogold in there. But these branches are nice and small at this time. This one right here is the problem, because being as long as it is and with all that foliage on the end, it may thicken and ruin the line of this tree by making a bulge there, or becoming too thick of a branch to be that high up. So I'm going to cut it back, see if any new buds spring out, and if not, well, I may have to cut it way further back. And I might trim this up here a little bit. Other than that, that's about all that needs to be done on that one. And then this one here needs several things chopped off to keep this area here from once again thickening too much for the trunk down here. Okay, we're going to start back with this Portulacaria afra, dwarf jade. Up inside of here, I need to get the camera closer. This leaf is kind of hiding this inner part here. I could come back to this and make this a branch so that this would curve. Inside here is another top right there, but there's already these bulges here at this one, mainly on this side. And that was due to it being a root. I think the best bet would be to take this side off. Take this off. If I could clean up the under part of this branch at some point. See from this side if it's any better. This one's going to come out because it's kind of growing in the way and I can't see anything. So there's a little bit of a stub of a top growth here. There's this little branch off to this side. If I took this short, got one here, I might be able to do some carving down here later on and make that not look so bulbous. Or remove this one, let this side carry on, and then repair this over time. Let this go up this way, and let maybe this have a branch off there. I don't know. Or take all of this off. I don't think I want to do that. Well, since I just potted this one on a lark because it was a root, I'm going to go ahead and take this down to here. Clean that up in there. Take this one off too. And on this side, I think I'm going to leave it there right now and see what happens. Oh, I'll take this one shorter also, because that bulge is already bulgy. It won't hurt it to come shorter. Let's see, or do I want to try to pinch that one back? Since this one has an unopened bud right here at the tip, I'm going to pinch this off, leave the rest of this branch, and then come back and revisit that and see if it stimulates anything else to bud out along this side before the end of the season. So that is South African ficus. See if we can see it against this. stick straight, but that's because of the fact that it was a root. I might have to experiment with using curly straws instead of straight straws and see if I can get curlier aerial roots. That would be fun. Maybe I'll try that next year. I'll put it on my list. We're going to move along to this one. This one's in need. It's got this little side shoot. I'm leaving it right for this second because the trunk is thick. It actually has a bit of flare right down here. And then as you move up, it narrows, and it narrows to here. Like this is a little bit, this section's a little bit smaller than these two down here. So since that isn't very big right now, I'm just going to leave it. So if I go from there, and if I go up the next 90 degrees is this branch here. This is kind of thick. I wouldn't want anything thicker than that for sure. So then if I come around, I get up to this branch, which is really thick, which is kind of at the top of this. And so is this one. So I'm getting nice small leaves on this. I feel like this tree's going to have a little bit of a weird shape at first until I fix it. But this side's bulky. This side's not too thick. Let me see. This side's a little thinner than this side. I'm going to do a cutback so I can see things more clearly. So if I take this, onto there. And this is a back branch here. So now I could cut this, I have this, this, and one over here. And I'm going to cut that back, because this one's right alongside of it. It's a bar branch here, and there's a little guy here. There's a couple of shoots. Not sure how well we can see. I'm going to take all this off. I kind of like how this branch is helping to build up what might be a nice little canopy up here. I really wouldn't want it to thicken anymore. It has a branch growing out the top that's kind of helping to join all this up rather than making it a separate pad or a separate pad or a separate pad. I think I'm just gonna shorten it here. Take off the underside branch here. I actually want that to go back to a sideways branch. So these two leaves go this way. These two leaves go this way. This other little guy down here, if I could leave him, I will. There's kind of a cluster of things on the end of that branch. Then we end up back at this branch here. These are both coming in, but at least they're kind of matching each other. Except this one doesn't have a top. This one has the top. But this side branch is really thick. So if I took that off, it would come, well, if this is the back, it would come towards the back. This here. The end of this has a lot going on. I'm going to go in here, take out this middle piece. If I can find the end of it, right here. There's a little side here. One to this side here, and one kind of going up. It's like the remains of an old branch in there, kind of clogging up the space. Some more remains. So I have this one that's kind of going up. That could be okay. And this one's going to the back, so we'll take that little tiny guy off. Stop, it was me. Where is it now? I'm trying to find it. Oh, there. So it's on the back side of this. I think I will have to take now I'm thinking a little differently, because I'm thinking I'm going to take this all off, because if I take it off I might get something smaller to grow there. And I'm going to take this one out and leave this one and leave this one. I think I'm going to take this one off. So that's this little back branch. I'm hoping I'll get something maybe to bud out over here. This is the other side of this top. One coming out the side there. One on the top, one on the side, a few here on the end. So I'm going to take the one going up off the end. So this little one's coming forward and down. That's not bad. This one's going kind of to the back. This one's going backwards. There seems to be possibly another little bud up in there. So right now I'm going to take this top piece off, because this whole thing may end up having to get trimmed back to start reducing the size of that. another tiny one growing over here in the crotch. It's actually on a knob. Let's see, I need a pointer for this one. It's on a knob right here. Okay, next up is the little elm tree. Yay, I love this tree. Love it, love it, love it. But I'm going to have to trim it, even though I love this long branch. I don't want to ruin the line of everything. Right now, this branch is rapidly getting as thick as this branch, and I don't want that. So, cutting this back so it'll be just a branch, and this is going to maintain as the trunk. I hate to leave it with nothing on the end, so I'm going to be conservative and like only cut as far as this. And that one I'm also going to take the big leaves off of. This whole stem is practically growing backwards, and the one damaged leaf off of, so it'll be pulling minimal resources through that branch, and we can continue up this trunk here. I want to strengthen this little branch, so a little bit, so I'm leaving these on the tips. I'm probably going to remove a little bit of what's going backwards over here. I'm going to take this little guy out of the center. It's too close. So you have this, these naturally have an alternating pattern. So I've got a tiny little one here, alternating left to right, up and down each side. Here's a new leaf, so I'll take this bigger, older leaf off. Glad I saw that. I'm going to leave the one on the tip. That side looks okay. Yeah, this one's in the crotch, so I'll just take it off. I can see it. There we go. This one here, again, I'd like it to be strong. I'd like it to come this way a little bit more. So, let's see if there's a branch I can trim back to. I like this. I like this. There's a little offshoot branch here. This one would be too close. And this one's a little big. So, I'll take this one off. I'll take this one off that's kind of older, bigger leaf. And I'm going to take the one off of this side. So we did this one, and this one, and we move up to the top. So the next branch up is this one. So this one and this one kind of echo each other, but they're actually going to become separate. This one's going to come over this way a little more. This one up here has a branch almost on the top. This branch is definitely to the side, same side. This is the leader of this branch. And then there's one to this side. So I'm going to shorten that up. Smidge. I'm going to take this off. Back to this lower leaf here. There's a leaf up here. Another little teeny tiny one right behind it. This side is close to this side, so take that back. This side. I'm going to take off this and this. The two branches on the end. Or the two leaves on the end, I'm sorry. You can see how much smaller most of these other leaves are. Eventually this branch will have to get trimmed back, but I could probably take that. Take it off right here. But this one kind of goes this way and that one kind of goes that way. Let's see. I'm going to leave that for right now. And then here up top, nothing to take off there. Nothing's shading anything else. It's all looking good. This side here, the trunk actually kind of comes up to this, and this should just be another branch. I like that. Ugh. I like that as the full height of the tree. This right here being the top. So this branch is very dominant to that. So it needs to be taken back. There is a tiny little leaf here and another small leaf here. My other option would be to wire it down, which I could do. If I leave enough of it, I might be able to flex that down further. Let this come up and fill. So maybe I'll do that. I'll just take some off of it, and then when it's time for wiring, I may wire this down a little bit more. Unless it surprises me and gives me another idea. I'm going to take that off, but I'm also going to take off these two strongest branches on the very end of that so it doesn't get any stronger. And overtake this one. There's more movement if I follow this. So that's that one. A little wildling elm of some sort. I really like this guy. You can see here especially how much longer this branch is. It's kind of counterbalancing the back angle here, but eventually it's just not going to need to be that long, and it may end up being potted in a way that changes that. Seen from this side, however, especially in real life, this root kind of mimics this here. But the root doesn't show up very well on camera. And that root may not always be there. As the trunk thickens, it'll judge what I do with the remainder of this. And then this is the final Portulacaria afra that's grown like a giant. This whole top is just going to come right off. I'll probably leave this, and I'll take this to here. Easy peasy. As soon as I find the right tool to do that. This doesn't like to do that. Well, I'll just use these. So using knob cutters, this really isn't what I should be using. We won't need this big long stick anymore. I think I will also cut this back. Ta-da! This one here will just get sorted up into some other cuttings. I'll let it dry out a little bit, separate, well, I'll look at these, separate the pieces maybe, and then let it dry out some, and I have a bunch of babies of this plant. Look at all that. We're doing a raft, but I don't know if I have the right type of pot to do a raft in. I don't know if this, I think somebody did a raft, or Dave or Steve did a PA raft. I could be mistaken. So thanks for hanging out with me while I tidied up these little bonsai. I've got some medium bonsai to tackle here in the near future. But I think we did a pretty good job on these guys today. Let's say that this is probably the front of this one. This guy finally fits on the table with everybody else because it's not so tall. So that's today's work. It looks pretty good. There wasn't a whole lot to do, but sometimes they don't need a whole lot to do. They just need a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Especially when some of these are tropicals and succulents, and they don't really behave in the same way that like a deciduous tree from northern temperate climate like where I live would behave. Sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do, and it won't line up with everybody else. Normally none of my elms would be getting this right now, but this little guy, I just really like how he is developing. This one's a win because it's still alive, and it was a root, an aerial root that lived and now is becoming another tree. So that's the first that's ever happened for me, so I really like that one. I hope it succeeds. This one was a wild seed that landed in one of my pots, and it insisted on coming back every year even though I never brought it in. It was just like an old pot with some dirt in it. Very small pot too, and it was probably no bigger than this, the pot, and then he kept coming back. And then I decided I was gonna, you know, if you want to be in with the bonsai so much, then you're gonna have to be a bonsai. And this one was given to me. Somebody else had had it, and they couldn't figure out what to do with it, and it had some really long branches coming off, and it just needed an overhaul. So that's what it's getting. And this is the offspring of that overhaul, on its way to being its own bonsai. And the loaves and the fishes, this Portulacaria afra just keeps on giving. So I'm not going to call it a carnage cam, because this is like more of a resurrection cam, since all of these things are going to grow into new plants. Hope to see you again here at Bonsai Druid. Enjoy your day.